Hey there, folks. I'm Joe Crawford of artlong.com. Pretty much every day I go to CSSBattle.dev, look at and do the daily target and record myself doing it. And is this a cute little bug? It's a cute little bug. And let's do it. And I think we're going to do it all on the body with 1, 2, 3 gradients. 3 gradients. So we'll go top or bottom to top. We will start with the top circle. So radial gradient, 1Q. So that makes sure that it's a circle. I believe this is a totally a circle. 40, let's try a Q value and then transparent. So there's our circle. And how do we move it? Well, we can do it at 50% minus 30 pixels. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then 50Q, 52, 3, 53Q. So we can do at 50%, 70 pixels, or it's slightly shorter to do 50% minus 30 pixels, I believe, 30, 60, 70, 80. There we go. That's part one. The next part, these lines. So we have some choices. The linear gradient or the repeating linear gradient are our choices. We could also do my favorite, the conic gradient. Actually, that's what we'll do. We'll do a conic gradient. Conic gradient. Nope, that doesn't solve it. I misspoke. It's going to be a linear gradient. Top to bottom, linear and repeating. So the color stops are brown and then transparent because we actually have a base of this light green color. So I need a comma there and I need color stops. I need 4 numbers. I need 0, 20 pixels, and then 0, 40 pixels, which gives me those stripes. Now I need it in the middle. So I need background position 50%, 50%. That doesn't mean anything at this point. That means I need to not have it repeat. That also doesn't mean anything because the default size is auto, which is 100% width and 100% height of the containing element. So we need to give it a width. How about 80%? All right, we're in the ballpark. We're getting there. How about, hopefully we get an even number, 60, 65. 65% does it. That's the width. Now we need a height. How about 40 pixels? How about 50, 60, 70, 80? So that's kind of right. Also, this radial grade, this needs to be on the bottom level. The radial gradient that we made has the bottom level and needs its secondary color to be this light green. There we go. That's what I meant. All right, so it's not directly in the middle. It's actually slightly lower. I was not paying attention well enough. So what do we need to do? We need to move that background position Y downward, which will be what, 60, 65, 64, 63? How about 100, 40Q, 80, 90, 100Q, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51. Actually, let's do a pixel value. There we go, 140 pixels. And I think that's good. So again, this repeating linear gradient is a repeating 20 pixels on, 20 pixels off, and that's how those color stops look. Okay, and then to cover it up, another radial gradient. And I'm having trouble typing parentheses. There we go. Need a comma. And the colors we need are red, and then this green, and then transparent. As you can see, that's covering the whole thing. And it's not a circle, so we need to either the keyword circle, which is valid, but it's shorter to give it a measurement, which then expands to 2. colors. Now we have no measurements, no color stops. So let's do 60 pixels. How about 90 pixels? How about 100 pixels? And then how about 110 pixels? Oh, and then we need 0, so we need 2 numbers there. And then I think that's good. And then we're going to move it. We do the same trick. It's 50% on the x-axis, and then we need to move it down, so we give it a positive value. How about 20 pixels or 30? And that does it. Submit. I think that's it. And that's 100% match. And that's our goal. Minify, unit replace, and submit. So those are 3 very specific elements that we created. Now, what if we did 3 paragraph elements? I'm going to give each one a very distinct attribute so we can address each one. We're going to do exactly what we just did, but instead of gradients, we'll create an element each one. So again, we need to do lower to higher because the later in the DOM means higher by default in the rendering tree. So first up, let's make a circle. So I don't know that we have much in common for across these 3 things. So we're just going to do one at a time. Margin 30, 100, height 40. And if I was paying attention, I would have remembered what the numbers were. That's okay. 20. Let's make it taller. 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 42. And it's 100 pixels tall. Now we're going to do a border radius 50%. So that's our first part. And then because the last element has to cover both of these, we want that, so the red is last. So now we'll do the next one, which is the B element. And for that, I guess we do border block, 20 pixels solid, and then this color. Now we do need to give it a height of 20. And we need some margin, 0, 40, 50, 60, 62. And then the C element, border of that one is probably, 20 pixels solid green. That also has a border radius of 50%. That's going to need a height. And we need some negative margins for this guy. Minus 100 margin, minus, and I need a background of red on him as well. So there he is. We push him up too far. That height needs to be, 200. Those margins need to be different. How about, let's try 60. Oh, and then it's actually a 10 pixel border, I think. Great. So let's do negative, a little more, negative 2, 3. There we go. More margins on the sides, 8, 82. And that does it. Submit. So again, each of these elements is interrelated with the other. And that's what creates this thing. We have some things are in common with some of the elements, but if you're interested to copy this code and do the optimizations that you would do to do these, that would be fun. We don't need the paragraph element at all selector. So I'm going to minify and unit replace and get out of here. So that's 5 minutes each. Not too bad. Good practice. Excellent. I would say this is excellent. Okay, the back end didn't say good things. We'll retry. yeah, good practice to create them both ways, I would say. Learning those techniques. And then also all the other incredible techniques that can be used to do all these things, right? So clip path circle is another technique. Clip path ellipse. You could use these backgrounds always. A lot of interesting things. You could also do a box shadow on this element and shrink it. That's kind of an interesting technique. So let's get rid of this pump and push down so now we don't have an A element, so I can just nuke that, right? And so what do we need to do instead? So the B element, so what do we need to do? What do we need to do? We need to move this margin comes down 100, 40, 50, 60, 100, 20, 30, 40, 50, 40. Okay, so that's now aligned. And now this margin needs to be different. 2, 5, 6, 300, 2, 8. Make that 2, 7. And now if we did box shadow and we do it, what, 0 minus, let's say 40 pixels, 0, and then a shrinkage minus 40 pixels, and then a color. I believe that will work. We got no box shadow yet. Why? There it is. 6, 7, 8. There's my, so it needs more vertical one. There we go. So I can shrink that shadow, which is a very neat trick taught to me by one of the folks who commented on my videos, which I do appreciate those comments. 120, 110, and that's another solution. So that's 2 elements. Let's submit and make sure that we're 100%. Again, I use Safari, not Chrome, because I'm obstinate and I like to write code that's going to work in multiple browsers anyway, because I feel like that's valuable to the web. Even though I do love Code Gulf, I love the shortest technique, but I like techniques that work in browsers that I can work and use in my real life. But that's another technique. And that's it. All right, that's plenty. That's 13 minutes, 2.5 solutions. Let's call. No, that's 3 solutions. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Go make a webpage. I'll see you around. Bye.